everyone, and welcome to Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. I'm Miss Fleming. This is Unit 1 on Culture, Section 2, Lesson 7, Culture and Identity. Now, before we begin, I'm going to ask you to reflect on a couple of questions, as I've been doing throughout this section. I want you to think, is the culture of Newfoundland and Labrador unique? And what symbol is the best representation of your identity? It might be difficult to answer that right now, but hopefully it will be easier after we finish this lesson. So how does culture contribute to personal identity? Well, when people share a culture, or parts of it, they often feel a sense of belonging. This sense of belonging is shaped by many factors, which we have discussed in this section, such as economics, geography, history, and politics. Similar ways of interacting with the environment and similar lifestyle experiences contribute to having a group identity, or set of collective characteristics and qualities. Now let's talk about what that is. A group identity could be as small as a sports team or as large as a whole country. Most people identify with a large variety of groups, not just one or two. So an example, Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are also Canadians and also members of particular communities. So a person from Newfoundland and Labrador may identify as a Newfoundlander and Labradorian, as a Canadian, as an Indigenous person, as a queer person, as multiple different things. Expressions of culture and identity. The expressions of culture found in a particular region contribute to the area's sense of identity. If you look at our province as a whole, you will notice that some expressions of culture may be common for many people. And I would like to point out, due to maybe media influence, one could argue some provincial expressions could pertain to, say, the fishery, our friendly people, the rugged coastline, things like that. These expressions are displayed, of course, in our artwork, how we present ourselves to others, and other physical expressions. The concepts of culture and identity from Newfoundland and Labrador are also very evident in our folk music and our folk art. Whether we agree with these expressions that I've mentioned or not, we cannot deny that there are expressions in this place where we live that unite us in different ways. There is also one last thing I wanted to highlight as well in accordance to culture and personal identity, and that's how culture can also be shaped by adversity. So an example from our province that I like to point out is the fact that during the First World War, 1,300 of the 5,000 men from Newfoundland and Labrador that fought overseas did not return home. Considering such a small geographical area with such a small population, 1,300 young people was a lot. It still is a lot. This traumatic event shaped our identity. People express this part of our culture through the tradition of a memorial service on July 1st every year, and also through some other ways as well. It was such an ingrained part of my upbringing that even as a very, very small child, I didn't realize that it was something separate for Newfoundland and Labrador culture. July 1st is also Canada Day. And it was my assumption as a very small child that on Canada Day, everybody attended a memorial service honoring the people who fought in the First World War. I didn't know that that was something separate to be part of my identity as a Newfoundlander and Labradorian. Of course, as I grew older, I realized the difference. Lastly for this topic is symbols of identity. Groups and individuals often use symbols or icons to represent their identities to other people. Symbols also allow members within a group to develop a sense of community, which strengthens their ties to another and to the group as a whole. A group's history has significant influence on its sense of identity, and therefore the symbols by which that history is displayed. And of course, these symbols could also come from economic activities, politics, values, and lifestyle as well. I want you to bring your attention to two symbols that I put on this slide. We have the modern flag of Newfoundland and Labrador, and we also have the flag of Labrador. Both of these are symbols for people who live here in this province. Symbols could be different flags, animals, ribbons, colors, all kinds of different things. So now it's time to review. I have some activities for you to do in Brightspace, including a reflective piece on your identity, which I hope you enjoy. We're actually now at the end of the section. What you have left now is a creative project, which I'm super excited for. That's in Lesson 8, and I will see you next time.